Hi, welcome to class. I'm Jennifer of Unset Ways Yoga and Mindful Movement, and today's class is called Surrender to the Unknown. Now, the idea of surrender is not to be passive or uncaring about a situation, but to learn how to release from the panic and trying to understand, control, or escape a situation. So, whatever your ideas around surrender are right now, I hope that we can frame it as a tool to find inner strength and to respond with clarity and hope. So, let's practice today. I'd like to start in Malasana, which is the yogi squat. So, we'll have feet a bit wider than hip width. And if you do have any problems with, say, plantar fasciitis, any tension in your feet, you're welcome to roll up a blanket to create a little wedge underneath your heels. As well, if you have sensitive knees, maybe adding a block to sit on, and you can play with the height of the block, can take the pressure off the knees as you're sitting in this shape. So you are welcome to have your hands down on the floor where we can increase the amount of grounded contact that we have with the earth. Or if you'd like to place your hands in prayer position up at the heart area, that allows us to use our elbows pressing open our inner thighs, allowing us a little stretch there. But most importantly, let's take this time to connect with our breath. So let's together take a couple of nice deep breaths in and open mouth exhales to sigh out our current tensions. So inhale deeply and exhale out, settling into our space. Another nice deep breath in and exhale. And now you're welcome to keep just a nice gentle gaze in front of you, or if you feel comfortable to do so, go ahead and close your eyes and turn inward, just starting to focus on your own breath as it's naturally occurring. Do you find it still to be a quick pace, or maybe sort of shallow? You haven't been breathing very deeply. And let's just observe what that is at this moment. And as you're observing this time where you're starting to notice areas of tension that you're holding, just start to maybe slow down your breath, with each breath adding a little more length, letting that belly expand on the inhale. Feel free to take any more open mouth sighs as you exhale that you need. And now gently, when you're ready, let's raise up those hips. If you do have any wedge underneath your heels, you might want to remove that, but we'll keep a nice bent knee, keeping any stress off of tension in the feet. And just keep a nice, easy dangle. And you're welcome to keep your hands on the floor. Maybe put those feet a little wider if you like to grip your elbows. And maybe give a nice sway back and forth as if you're just blowing in the breeze. Just allowing some free movement. Remove any feelings of feeling stuck or frozen in tension by just moving freely and following your breath. And if you'd like to remain there, do so. Or if you want to walk towards your right foot, giving yourself a gentle stretch towards the right side, getting that left side body opening up just a bit. Nothing intense, just easy to start our practice. And slowly walk to the other side, reaching towards the left foot. A couple of breaths to fill up and open up that right side body. Back to the center. And we'll step the feet in just a little bit. Coming back down into Malasana just for a moment to ground ourselves. One more nice deep breath in. And a gentle breath out. From here, support yourself down onto the mat to be seated. We're going to place a bolster up at the top of our mat just in case it's needed. And you'll want to have a strap nearby and, of course, any other props you might need. We'll come down to a position on our belly, prone position. And let's rest here for a moment, just adjusting our body to a new position. Maybe give yourself a little wiggle. Allowing your body to feel the contact and support of the earth below you. And then let's take our elbows and forearms. We'll have them just in front of the shoulders, not tight in like cobra, close to the body. And we're going to take an inhale, rising upward. Doing a nice extension here. Now, if this is too compressive on the lumbar spine, I will show you here something that you can do to give a little more support to the spine. So you could place a bolster underneath your hips and then have your arms out straight like seal instead of the bent forearms. And that can take pressure off your back. So you may need to play with the positioning just a bit until it feels just right. Let's enjoy a few breaths here. And slowly release yourself down. You can leave the bolster here if you like. Next, we're going to take a frog leg with the left leg. Now, this can add compression to the lumbar spine. So if you are up on a bolster, that may help. Or you may just leave out the frog leg altogether and we'll rise up again without that. So we'll take our arms in either Sphinx or seal, pressing into our hands and forearms and rising up once again. You may like to extend up into seal. And release back down. We'll keep the frog leg if you'd like to. And from here, we're going to weave the right arm under the left, coming back to rest our head on our left hand, or you can bring a pillow in, whichever works for you. Resting here for a moment. If you can, keep your hips facing down towards the mat and allowing your body to enjoy a nice twist in the upper spine. From here, we'll take our left hand supporting ourselves. We're going to roll all the way back onto our back, maybe adjusting yourself as needed. And then we'll bring the left bent knee into towards the armpit there. So if this is too uncomfortable to compress on the knee like this, you are welcome to bring a strap in and pull your bent leg towards your left armpit as is comfortable. So whatever you need today will be perfect. So as you may already feel, we're bringing tension from our bodies. In all of these positions, you may notice new areas of tension that you didn't realize you were holding, and each one can help us access those and breathe into that physical holding, chronic tension perhaps, and release and let that go. And sometimes that may feel only for a moment, but the longer you practice, the more that you might go through your day, and in another situation, you may realize, oh, I'm holding tension in that area again. And you might be able to take a moment, even just 10 seconds. Take a couple of nice deep breaths, releasing the tension from that shoulder area or your stomach feeling tied up in knots. And then that may give you a new sense of lightness or clarity to return to your task or whatever's happening in your day. So we can keep these lessons beyond class as well. So this is just the practice. Then we take it into the real world. And when you're ready, we'll release that strap or your knee. Gently, let's guide that back over, rolling all the way back over to your belly. And adjusting yourself on your mat as necessary. And let's take that brief rest, kind of a face down Shavasana, if you will. And when you're ready, we'll take that right leg into a frog leg. And we're going to return our arms either into the Sphinx or the seal pose preparation. Pressing into the hands and forearms, rising up. Again, you're welcome to do seal if you like. Giving a nice extension into those left hip flexors in this case. And slowly lower yourself back down. Keeping that frog leg. This time we'll weave the left arm underneath the right, using the right hand as a pillow, or again, bringing your bolster in towards your head for a proper pillow. And again, gentle reminder, if you can, making sure your hips are facing downwards towards the mat. And again, if the frog leg is not working for you, you can have both legs straight. And then enjoying that upper twist with the upper spine. And then when you're ready, go ahead and push yourself over gently, adjusting as necessary to stay on your mat. We'll take that right knee that was in the frog's leg into the right short shoulder, kind of the armpit area. Or if you prefer, strapping your right foot to hold that in towards the position. In all of the practices I offer, I try to show as many options as possible. For accessing a pose, all of our bodies are different injuries or alignments that we've experienced in our bodies in our lifetime. So we're looking for a similar feel to the result of each pose, but sometimes we do need a little different access to get to it. If anything ever feels painful, or if you feel intuitively that, no, this is not right for me, definitely back out of that pose and either try another way to access it or perhaps skip that pose that day. You're always welcome to message me with any questions, or after a live class, after we stop recording, of course, you can ask me any questions as well. And as always, back to that breath, allowing that belly to fill up with nice oxygenated air to get all through our circulation, nourishing us, and expelling what we don't need with each exhale. From here, gently roll yourself back towards the left, coming back to your belly, and a brief from Shavasana. And then slowly let's push back into a child's pose and allow our bodies to integrate the movements we've just done. And gently press yourself up towards seated. So next we are going to be doing a heart opening pose. We're going to be using our blocks, and you're welcome to put any cushion you want over your blocks. If your blocks are harder, I have the cork blocks. Some people may have wood. These are a little harder than the foam blocks, of course. So whatever you need. The important part is the placement. This top one will go across, supporting our skull. And the longer one will go along our spine, starting kind of at the top of our shoulder blades and going downwards. So find your positioning, and you may need to make some adjustments, like letting yourself lay back. And you can just let your arms relax. We're opening up all of the chest area. This might give you even a more freer sense to breathe freely. Hopefully lots of freedom. And for legs, you're welcome to have the feet together, knees apart in a Baddha Konasana, if that feels good. Another option is to have feet as wide as the mat or wider and let the knees fall in together. Or perhaps what speaks to you today is just having legs extended like in Shavasana, allowing those feet to kind of relax out. No tension to hold anything anywhere. And so there's two ways that we've been practicing today to approach surrender. Definitely, we've been moving through the physical one, and that is to surrender to the earth. And we've been doing a lot of mat work today, of course. And this allows us time and gravity to release our bodies, release the tension, feel supported by our props, and to just let go of having to hold ourselves up or to tense and brace for a moment. we can allow our bodies to relax and rest. Another aspect has been mentally. So with each movement into stillness, when we're focusing on our breath, we're helping our mind to break the cycle of the rumination or the overactive thoughts that can activate even more resistance to our circumstances. So every time we're resisting, we're creating tension not only in our mind, but in our bodies as well. And we shouldn't feel punished for that. That's natural. But if we can recognize when that's happening and observe our thoughts and observe our tendencies, then perhaps we can find a way to let that go. And that way is to focus on the breath. And maybe take a moment to remind yourself of what your strengths are, what you're grateful for, anything that can break the cycle of the thoughts that are troubling you. And then once you remember your strength, your inner strength and your power, you can approach those situations with more strength and power, and hopefully with a clearer mind that may provide you with answers or the ability to go with the flow. So let's take a couple more breaths here. And gently supporting yourself with an arm, rolling to that side, removing your blocks. And let's spill back onto the mat. Shavasana. Feel free to extend your Shavasana for as long as you need for personal contemplation today. If you crave a longer practice, on replay, you can hit pause on any posture you'd like to experience for longer, or you can check out the extended version of this class with more postures on my website in the class library.